Hello, everybody. Hope you're all well. This is Howson's Brew. We're having a brew, joined by Andy. What are you laughing at? Joined by Andy, joined by Jay. Andy wearing a great football shirt. And it is Bank Holiday Monday, but they've not existed for how long I've been doing YouTube. So we're here, we're having a brew on a Monday because United have actually bothered their ass to sign a player. All in the space of about, what seems like about 6 hours, doesn't it?
It's so mad.
I know, it's crazy.
It's gone from a rumour to done deal to literally here we go in, like you said, in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy because it's like we were all that sort of, our attention was drawn to Sancho and what was going on there so much that we didn't notice Donny van der Beek
I was busy, mate, last night.
slipping.
It was I was coding up the match, the Paddock match. And
Some great commentary on that coming up for you, by the way.
Banging commentary, yeah. So I think supposedly just after 5 that's going to be out, so make sure to check that one out. Get Ronaldo on the brew. Ronaldo might have the Rona, so he's not allowed in because Joe cries. And that's true. But yeah, I was coding
Not
up the
bit
match.
about the Rona, but the other bit.
I was banging all the little clips on from the match whilst watching Last Dance, while multitasking. That's we need a different thing for that because I was doing 3 things at once. 4 if you include drinking rum, right? So
Impressive.
I had
isn't it?
Fergie's autobiography on, just because sometimes you got to listen to the big man. I had The Last Dance on the telly because it's just good telly, innit?
Yeah.
It's just good telly.
It is.
And I was coding up the match
Mate.
and having a rum. And then as it's all going, I wasn't like, I'm not. One of the best things about what we have started with Paddock FC is the distraction, because it takes so much fucking work that I think it's helped us not lose our minds over the transfer shit as it's been going. Because obviously I pop in and out on Twitter, and I've been seeing just people all losing their fucking minds.
Oh mate,
I'm glad I'm not on it. It's poisonous. It's a toxic
Do you know,
atmosphere.
I literally saw people yesterday, right, quote tweeting themselves tweets that were wrong as proof they were right.
What?
So they tweet something like 6 months or 3 months ago saying,
rub.
"Oh, we've had a look at Van der Beek, but we're not in for him." And then they quote tweet that, say, "I told you." It was things like that. I'm like, what is going on? I didn't even mute. I took a leaf out of your book. I didn't. This is how bad it is. Like, I like a row on Twitter now and again. And
News.
I don't block people.
Breaking
I
news.
mute them. I started blocking people that I don't even follow or I've never interacted with just because they were coming up on my timeline, and I was that annoyed at the insanity of it that I just thought, I can't be having this.
See, this is the beauty. I haven't had time.
Oh, mate,
I've been so busy.
You're absolutely missing
Same,
nothing,
mate.
and you as well.
I've
You've
been
got the
working
right
all
idea.
weekend.
I mean, I do like Twitter. I'll admit that, but it was just the ITK or the attempt for people to be ITK. You know what? It's all right to say I don't know. I say it all the time.
Do you want to know what I knew about this deal? Fuck all.
Yeah, me too.
Same, mate.
I knew what I was told of journalists who actually do know what they're talking about. Like, I don't know any of this.
Not a sniff.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if Sancho happens, I mean, we've been hearing regular updates on that since last year. There was a bit of an update yesterday that's possibly significant. I'll tell you in a bit.
Okay. I think I know what you're on about. Well,
Yeah, you should know what I'm on about. I think that's significant. I think in his head he's always been coming anyway, so I don't think that makes a massive difference to it. It's always been, are United going to agree a fee with Dortmund? That's the more difficult intangible.
The thing I can't ignore, people ask me this. People tweet me, and I always say I'm not in the know. Anything I know comes from journalists who I've spoke to on this channel. So Florian Plettenberg, who covered Bayern, we spoke to him. Patrick Berger, not the ex-Scouser, the journalist who covers Dortmund, we spoke to him. Romano, me and Ronaldo spoke to him. You don't come to me for that information. You go to them. I'm literally saying, look, I spoke to them. That's what they told me. Because I'll happily admit I'm not ITK. But I have journalists that I respect and who do know things and who do speak to the clubs and who are close to certain players. And that's, what you're saying there is pretty much what's been said, And my worry with the whole Sancho thing is there's a lot of noises. Some of the journalists I've mentioned there have said that Dortmund are digging their heels in and getting to that point where they're like, you know what? It's not the end of the world for us to walk away. Bayern have just cleaned up.
Yeah, we don't need to sell them.
Yeah, Bayern are throwing shade at us, saying, "Oh, you're a selling club." We don't need to sell that.
Didn't they say the same thing the other year? And
With
sold
Dembele?
Loads of times.
Sold him to Barcelona.
I mean, I think they said, "Oh, that's it." I think they did a similar thing. It was Michael Zorc, the sporting director, or was it Watzke? One of the others.
Yeah.
One of the two said something. Oh, he's not going anywhere, and then he went. But it is dragging on a lot, and as we've seen from yesterday, when United do want to get a deal done, and then when Van der Sar's involved,
Yeah. So I spoke
the greatest
to
goalkeeper ever played for Manchester United. By
There's
the
an
way.
interview coming out. What time are we putting it out? 7?
Yes.
Is it 7? I think it's 7 o'clock.
Don't bother answering, lads. It's all
Yeah,
right. We'll
just-
speak amongst ourselves.
All right. So these dickheads that work here don't know what's going on. No change there. I spoke to Gerd Langendorf, who's Dutch.
He's Dutch. Right.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to him and he had some really interesting stuff on there. Like the reason it was accelerated was down to Spurs and Paris getting involved.
That was interesting for me, the Paris thing, because I knew about the Spurs story.
I didn't know about that.
No, I didn't know Paris Saint-Germain, but you can see that, can't you? Because you think 40 million to set Paris Saint-Germain is like...
snip.
That's down the sofa.
That's nothing, yeah. I'm not even bending over to pick that up if I drop it.
40 million.
Yeah.
I would.
For them. No, for them. It's literally like, less than a penny.
Drop
to
in the
us.
ocean.
Yeah. So, but what I'm happy about and what I'm pleased about is that it seems that Ollie's been involved in this, helped get it expedited.
Yeah, he said Ollie rang him on Friday
Yeah.
to sell him the dream.
Love to hear that. Van der Sar, obviously still...
Thing is, though, I'll
connection
believe
to
it.
the club.
I believe it when I see it when he's holding up the shirt.
Still sceptical, Mr. Tate.
Well, like you say, you know what? It's
Romano said, "Here we
No.
go."
That's more...
anything
That
can
to
happen
me...
in this world. It's 2020
It
now.
is.
Anything can happen. You know it
It's
can.
a good
No.
point.
No.
It's got a point.
It's got a point, no. United's bored. Like, you know what they're like.
Is that our mate again, that?
Yeah, just ignore him.
Can I please, can I read that out? Sorry.
No,
What's he saying? Why is he paying money to say that?
because he's a fucking widge.
Someone needs to take his mum's credit card off him because this is getting
Yeah,
right.
we're gonna get the charge back soon, don't worry about that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
If United don't sign Sancho, it would be a big embarrassment for the Glazers on the board. Will it? More than the fucking way they've run the club for the last 15
The Glazers
years?
could defecate in the middle of the Old Trafford pitch and it still wouldn't embarrass them any
I
more
know,
than they've
I
already
know.
embarrassed themselves. There's no more levels for them to go. They're an absolute farce.
If we don't get
So
Sancho,
I don't think Sancho matters
and
on that
and he
front.
sorts out the other transfers that we need, like we're saying, a couple of defenders, a winger. I'd be quite satisfied with the transfer window. You know what I mean? You can't just blow everything on one player. I know we're building slowly.
Manchester City think different.
Yeah, I know.
They're
Because
literally-
if Messi's available,
they're willing to pay more than the cost of their entire club ever.
It's going to get
on
messy.
him.
It's going to get messy in the courtroom. Believe me, there will be a major court battle.
well, for those watching who have a Scooby-Doo what's going on, Messi is full on strike. Messi is, go away, mum, I'm not going out, right? He's not having any of it, is it?
Second is balling. He's not playing.
Proper.
He's proper Pierre Van Hooydonk in it. Isn't
Oh, yeah, real bad.
Oh, Van Hooydonk,
So
yeah.
he's supposedly he's got, which is mental, by the way. At the end of every season, there's a month where Messi can just leave, which is wild, isn't it? Like, who negotiated that contract? Now that is June, the month of June. Messi goes, "Yeah, I'm out in a bit." He can do that. Now he's arguing, season's only just finished, mate, which he's got a point on. Meaning that the spirit of the clause in the contract is at the end of the season, before the next one starts, he can just leave. So he's trying to argue that applies now because all the seasons have been messed up and stuff like that. And to be honest, he does have a point. But contract law is contract law, and if it stipulates June, then it was fucking June, my mate. And I'm sorry, you're gonna have to stump it up. And 700 million is a lot of scratch.
I just don't. I mean, I can understand, right, why City fans are like getting excited because Messi's coming to your club. They've never had a Ballon d'Or winner at their club, unlike us. They've had four.
Never had a Champions League winner.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Dennis Law.
Oh yeah, we didn't win it there though, did he? He won it with us.
Well,
But-
Messi's not fucking winning one.
Yeah,
there,
well, he's
is
not
he?
winning that one there, is he? To be fair, you got a point. So get it why they're excited. You would be. I'd be excited if Messi was coming to United. Of course, I would be. But it's just, it seems there's so many different caveats to this and which way it could go that I wouldn't be sort of getting me Messi tattoo just yet if I was a City fan because
There's a good
Yeah,
chance
but
he might not play this
City
season.
fans will.
well, City fans have
Yeah.
got Champions League winning
Yeah,
tattoos.
these City fans who are like, huh? Told you this would come in.
I mean, it's weird because
Yeah, it's 12 years old.
I've seen Messi a few times. We all have, haven't we, in the flesh? And you do like to see the best players, just not for your rivals. So if he was going to Watford or whatever, not Watford, because they've been relegated. If he was going to Villa, happy days. Do you know what I mean? I'd happily
What
go-
fucking planet, Jay, is Messi going to Villa? How deep into football manager are you?
Swap deal with Wesley.
I don't do football.
I'm saying if he went to someone I wasn't bothered about, I'd be happy about seeing him in the Premier League. But I'm not happy about seeing him for Manchester City. I've not had a drink in years, as you well know.
Irish coffee. Is it Irish coffee?
I'm not going to be buzzing. The point I'm making is I'm not going to be happy to see Messi in the Premier League for Man City. Even though it's like one of the world's greatest players, you're not going to be like, oh, great, we get to see Messi in the Premier League. No, because he's playing for City.
That's absolutely like the same arguments of like, I want English clubs to do well. No, I want an English club to do well, and it's this one, and it's not the other ones. You dick.
Exactly.
Good. Oh, like if you like, oh, English clubs did well, they all got to the semi-final. I'd be like, well, did United? Yeah, well, good. If you was like, Liverpool lost 6-0, I'd be like,
exactly.
Fucking quality.
That's not right.
Stop it.
Is he going to go to City?
If I'm giving you odds, I say 80% chance he stays at Barcelona.
Right, okay.
And they sack everyone he doesn't like.
Yep.
20% chance that the Sheikh just goes off. Like, remember that lottery winner who, like, turned his back garden into a destruction derby? Yeah. I love that you know his name.
Yeah. King of the Chavs.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like that, but with footballers.
I know, City's a bottomless pit of money, but are they really going to could that bankrupt City?
No, they can't be bankrupt. They've got one of the...
If they bought him,
they're owned by a regime that's got an endless amount of money.
Yeah.
So it won't. You know, there's no point in kidding ourselves that they're going to get to a point where they can't afford him. They can always afford him. It's just whether he'll go. Whether Barcelona can convince him to stay.
I don't think he'll play this season. I think it'll go to court.
He's full on stuck his feet up, hasn't he? So it'd be interesting to see how it unlocks.
It is slightly sad to see, you know, it becoming so sour as well, because he's a god in it to the Catalans, and this is just tainting it all.
For 2 decades worth of loyalty, it should count for something.
Fuck that noise. He's got a contract.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
this is the first time it's been a bit rough for him.
If this was United player doing what Messi's doing, would you be happy? If Ronaldo would have said this in 2008, right, I'm down in tools.
Look at Pogba. Everyone's like, Pogba. Nah, fuck him. Yeah. Get rid of him.
And he's not even down tools. He came and played and helped us get top 4.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, right, you throw this one, right? What do you think the internet would be saying if Paul Pogba was like, don't like it anymore, don't like the new manager, and I'm not fucking playing? He'd be crucified. He'd be crucified.
Of course he would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right, now, okay, Messi and Pogba are not the same entity. He's won fucking shitloads of trophies, including the Ballon d'Or at that club. But the sentiment's the same. The sentiment has to be the same. You've got a contract. You show up for work. You know, just because footballers have a price tag attached to them doesn't mean that they get to be any fucking different in terms of that.
Would you blame Messi if he just walked away and retired?
Yeah. Because it's the first time that he's had a bit of heat on him. He walked into a great side with the one with Ronaldinho and Terry Henry and Eto'o and all them lot. And then you had like Iniesta and Xavi was just sort of getting into the team. Then he became a massive part of that, as they was regularly the 3 best players in the world. They've won trebles. They saw Guardiola off. Enrique came in, smashed it. They've still been successful post that, and now it's a bit rough because they're going for a rebuild, and they've kind of gone through the period that United have gone through, where they've had a chief executive that's just spent obscene amounts of money on players that really haven't worked. With your Griezmann and your Coutinho and your Dembele, like there's 400 million wasted across 3 fucking players there. That's enough for a rebuild that they could have boxed right off.
I think that's second on to United.
Yeah, so they're going through a bit of a period where they've got a fucking clueless idiot in charge. Who's wasted a lot of money on, albeit pretty good players that just haven't worked out for them. And this is the first time that he's had to really roll his fucking sleeves up. And the first time he's had to roll his sleeves up, he's just fucking volleyed his toys out the pram. Fuck him. If he walks away, then sound. But loyalty works both ways for me.
Yeah, I agree on that.
You've not fucking played for free and fucking had to crawl on your knees for Barcelona. They pay him $1.5 million a week. I mean, he's pretty well paid for that loyalty, and loyalty works fucking both ways. If this is truly your fucking football team, have some fucking respect for the shirt that you've worn for 20 years, and fucking stand up and be counted when it's shit, and be a fucking leader. You wear the armband, but you're not a captain.
Did you have special doctors in Barca?
Yes, they do.
Right, okay.
Like I say, the A&E will be quite full
if he
leaves.
Whether that's part of the deal at some point. Certain medical professionals that,
What do you mean?
you know, Pep Guardiola likes. That's all I'm going to say.
Is he going to call? Is he going to call them in?
Right, that's say no more.
Allegedly.
But yeah, Van der Beek. Thoughts? Or Van der Beek?
Van der Beek. Obviously, you know, I did see him in Stockholm.
Anyone made a wake and bake joke yet?
No, but you can be the first.
Okay.
For that 20 minutes against United, and I remember saying at the time I thought he'd be a great future player for us, and we should sign him. I didn't really. Don't know a lot about him other than obviously people that I respect who do, and I've spoken to them and they all rave about him. We've saw, you know, his stats, if that shows you anything, are great. So what is he, 23? 40 million, bit of a no-brainer, and we do need other options for when we saw it when, you know, everyone was raving about Bruno, and people during the lockdown were going, Pogba, they saw Pogba, we don't even need him. Against Spurs, the first game back was it, and we saw that we needed Pogba. He came on and got us back in the game with a bit of class. So you need options. You can't just rely on Bruno, and you can't just rely on Pogba, because one of those now.
Fred, 45 games.
That's what I mean. Pereira's played 40 games this season. Do you know what I mean? Last season, sorry.
So it's a bit queasy.
Sorry. So you do need options, and this is a player that I'm not saying he's as good as, but he can do that job in an effective manner. So if Pogba's out, or if Bruno's out, or you need to rotate, or whatever.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a very strong chance, one of what I think we could all probably agree right now, Matic, Pogba, Bruno is our best midfield three.
Yep.
If you can give one of them a night off, regular, or you know, the four of Van der Beek, Matic, Pogba, Bruno, you've got them four for every game. Now, you don't have that falling off the cliff like you do. And you can still have your McTominays and your Fred, possibly, as backup. You know, Mata or Lingard. I'm sure some are going to move on, but not all of them.
I don't want to... Sorry, just to talk, but what's happening with the likes of Ghana and Levitt? Are they getting a look in this season?
Last I heard on Levitt was they was trying to get him a loan to a decent championship.
All right, so likely a season away or whatever. But no, yeah, I completely agree, and I think you need options. We've always had options at Manchester United.
We definitely need strength in depth. Well, like I say, if Fred stays as well, I'm more than ready for a good midfield. You know what I mean? And with the addition of Van der Beek and possibly others, that's why we fell short in the semi-finals last season.
Well, you're right. We ran out of steam, didn't we? You know, you look at Bruno was one of those players as well who can still cause damage and still do things when he's knackered, and he was doing that. You know, you could see it was catching up with him, but he was getting thrown in week after week. Same with Pogba as well. I think it was catching up with him.
I think he's back with Ryan Hopper.
Oh, is it?
Our mate,
who was doing the coaching during the lockdown.
In the next week or so.
Yeah, so like you say, you know, you didn't know on the head there, the semi-finals. Someone like Van der Beek, someone like that
coming on 60 minutes, 70 minutes to change the game, and we just didn't have that.
Like, yeah, well, let's say you have a game. Let's say first game of the season this year. It's Crystal Palace. You've got Bruno's actually he's not quite hit a beat in the preseason games. He started a bit sluggish. Now you go. It's not your day today, Bruno. An hour in, off you come.
Yep.
Donny,
on you go. Keep going. Now, so you're not going, oh, fuck's sake.
Listen, we all love Bruno, but you look at your midfield, your midfield that starts against Crystal Palace, even if you know, it's the first game, but even if it was, say, Pogba, Van der Beek and Matic, you're not going, oh my God, what's he doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you needed to rest him from the start or change it, you've got a very good player in there.
It's the same thing with the rumours of what we're going to do with Greenwood. He'll play 40 games still, chill. And you've got 4 going into 3, which is fantastic. You need 14 first choice players for 11 aside.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we need a couple more defenders as well.
Yeah. But you need 14
I
first choice players.
I still think we do another midfielder. I do.
It's mad though, because last week all the social media was absolutely going crazy. Chelsea got 5-6 players, and United fans. I thought we ain't going to sign anybody. I'm being honest.
Why?
It's the regime. It's just the regime. I know they're taking this new stance from last season, looking at buying English, Brexit FC, but I was saying the last
3 signings have been Portuguese, Nigerian, and Dutch.
Oh, before that it was Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, English-born bred players, wasn't it?
And James was Welsh.
I think there was the narrative there became that we're looking at different. Now, I was having this discussion the other day about. I don't have a problem with us buying English. I don't care what nationality a player is as long as they're effective. Do you know what I mean? And I do think sometimes we've stopped buying players from like the sort of the Premier League or the lower end of the Premier League where we used to. We used to have 1 or 2. You know, name a great United team, any team. Right. Well, there you go. He was in defence for that team.
Stevie Bruce.
Steve
Right.
Bruce, yeah.
Right, listen. For everyone at home who's just going to fucking get it. Right.
Why did I ask you
The
that?
reason that we managed to do that is because they were proven in this division, and United had a little bit of a financial pull and obviously a reputational pull over those players, and you could always pull them out. Now the Premier League earns so much money, you go to Everton. Like, imagine Everton had a 16-year-old Wayne Rooney right now.
But
They'd want 200 million.
No, but I get that. But, you know, we've always gone to, like you mentioned Everton. We broke the record for Everton, for Wayne Rooney. We broke the record with Rio. We broke the record with certain English players. But we've always looked at other players like your Dennis Irwins or your Chris Smallings from Fulham or
Roy Keane.
Or Roy Keane for Forest. There's players that you've gone to.
Imagine us signing a relegated midfielder like
That's
and him going on to captain the club.
I mean,
being the greatest captain we've ever seen.
Well, no, but you name like think about it. You name one of the greatest captains you've ever seen, Roy Keane. One of the best defenders you've seen, Rio. One of the best strikers you've seen, Wayne Rooney. It all come from the Premier League. Admittedly, for some of them you've had to pay a lot, but you can get those players. Fergie was great at it. You know, you got Van der Sar from Fulham for pennies,
Valencia.
and you could do Valencia from Wigan for relative pennies.
Yeah, but you can still pick up bargains on the continent.
Oh, no, you can do. I just think we can do
Ruud
both.
van Nistelrooy and Jaap Stam, Evra,
Jaap Stam was
Vidic.
a massive bargain.
Do you know what I mean,
People
all of
question
those
it
were
at the time.
phenomenal signings.
I think you can, and I think we still doing it on the continent now, is what we're doing. I still think we can look as well at clubs around us, or not around us, sorry, at the bottom half of the Premier League. There are bargains to be had there. I still think you can get them.
City just paid 40 million for a backup centre half from a relegated team.
I don't think that's bad business for them. Like,
But when you stack up that, you probably need like 10 of them. It's a lot of money.
That Swansea lad who was linked with United last week. Defender. I forgot what he was called.
very memorable.
But he was linked.
Louis Saha, great shout. Massively glossed over United player. Got a Champions League winners medal in his pocket though.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I think I wouldn't say you go and you buy your whole. We've always usually had one or two who you picked up like that. So, you know, in sort of 2008 or whatever, you might have Van der Sar, or in 99 you might have Irwin or whatever. You've always had like one or two where you've got them. I don't think you can get them by and large, build your team around that, because like you say, you'd have to spend 40 million 10 times over.
That's it. The Premier League's littered with it.
Yeah, but you've got like, you know, say you picked up someone like, I've used it as an example before,
Is it Rondon?
Zara or whatever from Watford or someone like that, or you say you brought in some. I know we're not going over him, but the talk of us getting Brooks as a squad player, you know, you can maybe not him, but you can get players there, one or two. I just think we just tend to ignore that now.
Was Brooks on the same list as Van der Beek?
That's a good question. I wouldn't have thought so, but I don't know. I mean, what we spoke to Peter Rutzler from The Athletic, who covers Bournemouth, and his exact words were, I think United have looked at him. I don't think United are going to go for him. If he came to Old Trafford, I don't think he'd be overawed by it. He's a good young player who rates himself and could do a job as a squad.
Did he used to live up here?
I'm not. Yeah, he did. Yes, you're right. He did. I think he was at City, wasn't he? And then he left.
Oh, you mean like the thousands of other people?
Yeah, you know,
Mate,
like,
they've got such a fucking turnover of young talent. It's insane.
them in Chelsea, mate. They've had how many youngsters have City?
They've won the Youth Cup between them about 6 out of the last 7 seasons.
That's a joke, because they just ruined it. They have. I know it sounds a bit, but that used to mean something.
I mean, it's good.
And now
it's
just,
good you win the Youth Cup, but then you want to progress from that youth team. But you have to go out of the club to progress your career, and you can't get in.
Well,
the only one I think Foden. That's it.
Yeah, and like if they get Messi, is he going to get a game? Does that work?
Messi over Foden.
Foden's supposedly better, isn't he, according to Pep? What about that one? If Messi comes to City for 700 mil, they definitely have to sell some players. Do they?
They don't, do they?
Yeah, maybe just to balance the fair play, but...
Andy, they didn't give a fuck beforehand. They pretty much told them they don't give a fuck. They was like, we're investigating, you know, like, good luck with that, mate. And then they investigated them, and they somehow got a fine and got away with it. I don't understand that. So if they didn't think it applied to them beforehand, now they've had a court basically tell them it doesn't apply to them. Michael Carroll time.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, if this...
Because that's the biggest fuck you ever to UEFA,
This
innit?
deal will be scrutinised and looked at by the authorities.
Yeah.
Even if it is...
And they don't give a fuck. They'll be like, there you go. Yeah, we paid 700 million for him. And guess what? Etihad Airlines paid for it. Fuck you.
There'll be
Yeah,
something...
And everyone's like, that's not fucking right.
There'll be something they'll buy in it. There'll be something they'll buy.
Get around it.
Tell you.
You know what I mean? There's no way. There's no way that UEFA are going to stop that deal from happening.
No. But
There's
they
no
may
way that
monitor
City
the
are going
deal.
to be in any sort of financial difficulties because of it. If he goes, if he's allowed to go, he'll end up there. Do you know what I mean?
There's two spots. One sounds like Aris, and the other one's Etihad.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Fucking Arsenal aren't buying him, are they?
You made a good point for once. That when United were linked, well, when I say linked, when some kids with a crayon and a bit of paper who masquerade as journalists were going, United are going to buy him, and you were like, well, why not clear the debt if we're going to spend £700 million on a player? We're about that in debt. Why not just pay that off if we've got that money, which we haven't? So yeah, there's no way he was ever coming.
We're haggling over 30 million for David Brooks. We're spending 700 million on Messi, are we? On a 33-year-old.
It's just like, even the most ardent, deluded United fan must have. I mean, don't get me wrong. Deep down, I was thinking, oh mate, it's not happening. There was no way we're gonna. Well, if we just forget about all the debt we're in, maybe sell Old Trafford and all our playing squad, and the Glazers just decide to give up and go home. Yeah, maybe we can get him.
We end up playing on the
field.
thing
is, though, he's 33, right? He's still mint. This isn't me putting any sort of down on the ability of Lionel Messi in the slightest. But at 33, being optimistic, you've probably got 2 years at the current level of him before he probably falls off a cliff very quickly and starts. He might play till he's 40. I just don't get that vibe out of the guy. I don't get that impression that he'd do that. Now, if they said, "Oh, would you accept the selling of the naming rights to sign Lionel Messi?" You go, "No."
Would you not? So
10 years ago,
I'm just
perhaps.
checking a tweet. Someone said something there on the chat. I just want to check if it's true. That's all. Check Fabrizio.
It's going to be crazy between now and the start of the season.
Paperwork signed between Ajax and Manchester United. Time for medicals. Contract to be signed in the next hours until June 2025. Go on, lads. Donny van der Beek to Manchester United. Here we go. Confirmed for the homegrown talent who'll leave Ajax.
Boom. There you go.
But it's
paperwork signed between United and Ajax. What you like to see? Hey, how quick
on a bank holiday Monday.
On a bank holiday.
I can't get a fucking Deliveroo. That's a lie.
Ed Woodward working on a bank.
We had one.
You shouldn't say that.
Wasn't that?
I was going to say ASOS.
Hey, that's mad.
I'm waiting on an AstroTurf delivery and it got delayed because of this. Also, bought a new PC for down there, right, at the other end of the room, right? Looked at it, said in stock for Friday, and I was like, right, I'll get that then. Then he emailed me after I bought it saying, anyway, so yours is scheduled to be built on the 9th of October. So I emailed him back and said, well, fucking cancel it then because I ordered it because it was due for Friday. He said it was in stock, delivery for Friday, sorted. So he went, oh, okay. Well, there's actually one on production right now and we could get it over by courier tomorrow. So I said, all right, that's acceptable. Then he emailed me on Friday saying, yeah, you're getting it Tuesday.
See, we've all got our crosses to bear during this pandemic and that's the Howson.
Fucking bank holiday. What the fuck's a bank holiday all about anyway?
Drinking
we're all sat here, aren't we?
Drinking in a pub with your family. That's what I was doing yesterday.
Well, I'm not here now, am I?
Yeah.
Having a fucking brew.
It's getting screamed at by the kids.
Sunday carvery.
Yeah. Messi. Madness. Van der Beek. I like him. Versatile. Top reader of the game. Both attacking and defensive. Can play in several different positions, which I think is what is very good for him. I think you need a couple of those in the squad.
What are those?
Is he a goal scorer, though?
Well, defensive midfield.
Box
to box midfield.
Is it, just
number 10.
anywhere in
that
midfield.
I think he's very comfortable in all of them. I think he might have to specialise at some point very soon as well. But right now he is accomplished in several positions. Like that on that run of Ajax in the Champions League, which obviously has got a lot of attention, and that team, as we expected, got picked apart, and we've been guilty of it ourselves, really. But as that team was going up, he played a number of different positions in that and a number of different roles and had some big performances and some big games. And obviously he's matured a little bit since then as well. So it's an exciting signing. It's certainly not the level of Sancho, but do you know what it is? It's astute. It's smart.
I never thought I'd hear those words being described. Being used to describe Manchester United's transfer business.
And if we pull off someone like, there's some talk recently now about Upamecano. Like, if we pull Upamecano off as well, I'll be like...
The thing is, right, you can have a decent transfer window without going berserk. Like, Chelsea have gone berserk. And you have to be realistic. United weren't going to do that, unfortunately. I'd love it if we did go out. And
I don't think Silva's going to work for them.
200
They've got
million.
some really good signings, Werner and Havertz, and
Yeah.
I think they're great. I think Silva's a bad move. at this
Thiago
age.
Silva, do you reckon?
Yeah.
They could just wheel him out for the Champions League, can't they? And,
Possible.
you'd probably
I mean,
still do a job
United
there.
will link with him, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I didn't see that. I mean, can you imagine him and Maguire together? That's just, it's just
We had a
asking
chance-
for trouble.
we had a chance
No,
to
I like
buy him.
Harry Maguire, by the way, but
We had a chance
him
to
and
get him
Silva
6 years
together
ago.
would never work.
Moisey blew it, didn't
Your mate, Moise.
he? Yeah, Moisey. He had a chance, I'm sorry to say. But we should have got him 6 years ago.
That he was booked in for a medical for that. And I'm not 100% sure. I don't think Moyes never even spoke about what happened, has he? But he was represented by Guardiola's brother.
Are we talking about Thiago Alcantara here? Or are we
Yeah.
talking about,
Is he still represented by Guardiola's brother?
Possible.
Is he?
Mick says he
Because
is.
surely, like, Guardiola's on the phone. How about we don't sell him to my fucking Cross City rivals, our kid?
But we, again, I don't want to keep reference, but we do speak to a lot of journalists. And the one we spoke to, the guy that covers Bayern Munich,
Steve might have a point. though.
Plettenberg, but he was saying
Steve might have a
saying
point.
that even before anyone was really talking it up, because it was like, oh, he's going to go to the Scouts, it's a done deal. He was saying United, he'd like to go to United, from what I gather, because United are revered in Germany as the biggest club in England, and rightly so.
At the time, it was.
No, even now I'm talking about, and he was saying as well that he was saying this, and these aren't my words, I certainly don't agree with him, but he was saying that there's a sort of reservation with Thiago going to the Scouts, is that with Keita, with Fabinho, with even Wijnaldum and Henderson, he's not guaranteed to get a game. Keita was on the bench the other day. I know it's the Charity Shield, it's just a friendly. Doesn't count as a trophy. But he was saying that, maybe if they sold Keita, he'd be willing to go. And I thought, that's never going to happen. They're not going to sell him. So, and you look at it, and arguably, he comes straight into our team.
Such a good price.
He's going to be what, first team football. If he went to Liverpool.
Fuck, he should. He's mint.
I
But I think he does get with us. I think he slots straight into
7 Bundesliga titles on the spit.
He slots straight into exactly, the Champions League in your last game. I mean, that's just great, isn't it? So yeah.
Same with Alaba.
Yeah, mate.
I mean, Liverpool's still favourites for him. Oh.
I think so, but apparently they're not spending any money.
Yeah, right.
Told you, they've peaked. Do you know why I know they've peaked?
Cool.
They're all fucking crying as they're celebrating and stuff. That's it. There's no steely determination winners. There's none of that. Yeah, that thing that we had under Fergie, where it was like, I celebrate for a night and I'm back to fucking work at 6 a.m. I don't
Next
get
year.
that vibe with the Scousers. They'll be in the mix, but I don't know if they'll repeat what they've just done the last 2 seasons. I think they was pushing for
it'll be a lot
that.
closer this season. Whoever's in it, whoever's challenging. It
Can
Can probably still get 90 points.
Is it still top 2?
It won't be the 90.
Who, for Scousers?
No, the top 2 we've just had. Is it going to be the same? Or do you think with
Yeah, I
all
think
this
it will.
money that Chelsea spent, they can get crash the party? Do you think if
No,
we
they
get the
absolutely can
signings
get
right,
past the
we
ca-
can get crash the party?
Anyone can get crash the party because the bottom half of the league is weaker than it's ever fucking
Course
been
it fucking
in
is.
relation to the top half.
Why
So,
should-
as
why-
United
yeah.
approved with what, fucking 1 loss in 23 or something in the league, right? Anyone can put some consistency together. If you can do it against the big clubs, then you're going to sit on top of that pile. They'll probably still get over 90 points, but they're not going to be close to 100, I don't think.
I think it'd be 80 points this year. It'd be
You
an
reckon?
80-point thing.
I think they've dipped.
And it'll be close a bit.
I think they've
I
peaked.
want to be in it. If we're in it with 10 games to go, then I'm like, bloody hell.
You want to see progress, don't you? And I think that will be progress. If we're in the conversation in March or in April, then yeah, that is progress. But, ultimately, as a United fan, you expect
lot-
to be challenging.
What do you reckon? Do you think Liverpool have peaked, perhaps? Do you think they... I almost think that once you get to the mountaintop... I think this is a Fergie quote. Once you get to the mountaintop, you can't have a fucking look around. You have to dig in and keep yourself there.
It's good in here, Fergie. Yeah.
He's meant for a quote, wasn't he?
It's interesting, though, isn't it? Because post-lockdown, their form hasn't been great.
Well, post winning the title.
Yeah.
I mean, they slump. They phoned it in the Champions League. They phoned it in the FA Cup. They had blistering form in the league, but we should have beaten them, and that might have been the skids for it there and then. They've peaked, mate. I think they've fucking peaked.
Genuinely, this isn't on a
No.
fishing expedition.
This is. No, I'd had the same feeling with Spurs in the Champions League final. I went, they fucking peaked. That's them done.
When you celebrate getting to the final like you've won it,
Right.
and
This is the
that's
whole
the
point I'm
mentality,
thinking.
you're fucked.
Well, the mentality of the Scouts was that was the promised land. We've seen it twice with United, and it took us a long time to get back up there.
Yeah.
99, we win the European Cup. We can't fucking repeat that, and we should have.
Yeah, of course we should have.
And in 08, okay, we came up against an half-decent Barcelona side. Half-decent. It's not right on about it, but it was all right. We never managed to get back to that peak.
Questionable reasons why it was so good. We won't get into.
allegedly. But I know that how much it meant to Fergie. The same thing happened with Matt Busby. You tell me Matt Busby, 1968, he's got 3 Ballon d'Or winners, including a fucking fella called George Best, and the greatest English player that's ever fucking walked the planet, right? You telling me that he goes fucking wins the European Cup and will be relegated in 5 years? You've been like, shut up, Stephen.
Yeah.
But it happened.
No. Yeah, you're right.
So I think sometimes when you've got a single-minded focus, like them Scouse twats have had for the Premier League for 30 embarrassing years.
What did Fergie do? He dismantled teams sometimes and started over again. With 95, we all thought he'd lost the fucking plot.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
We did.
But he knew.
Chelsea's using...
What are you doing? Chelsea's using it.
So
Nicky Butt!
Our top scorer, an absolute, at the time, fan favourite, and one of the best midfielders on the planet, you've let them all go and you're not bringing in anyone.
You can't win anything with kids.
Yeah. We signed Nick Culkin that summer. A third choice goal. That's like buying Lee Grant and selling half the team. You're like, what are you doing? And yet, he knew, though, he needed a revamp. It needed a reboot, whatever you want to call it. And it worked. And it's but same thing, 2003, he knew that team that had just won the Champions League. I know, I won't get into the Dave Beckham thing because that was a joke and it'll set you off. But there were certain players, not Beckham, by the way, that had to go, move on, bring in the youngsters. You know, I remember being on holiday in Malia and in with Sam Ronaldo and fuming that it wasn't Brazilian Ronaldo. Fucking Cristiano Ronaldo. We lost the plot in Fergie, man. Yeah, that's what I knew. But he knew, it might take a couple of years, but we need a reboot. And he did it. And the likes of Rooney and Ronaldo went to spearhead that team to greatness. So this is what they might have to go through. They might have to have a reboot, but is his clock going to do that?
He's not yet proved he can do that.
Yeah.
Because he did try to do that at Dortmund, and he was like 17th at one point in the season.
Well, he won back-to-back, and he did win it again, didn't he? Yeah. Got back-to-back Champions League final.
So what you're saying is 2 seasons at the very fucking peak, like he's just had, and then...
Say, German Mourinho.
Consistency is a need for everything.
Maintaining
exactly.
Elite performance for over so long is why Sir Alex Ferguson is the best, because there isn't a manager that's had arguably 3 fucking genuinely best team in the world level of teams. Not one.
Going back before, I would say the Leeds side. Don Revie built 3 sides, but
he only won 2 titles, though, didn't he?
I know, but that was the difference. I didn't win the European Cup, but that was. I love football.
And
I love my football.
And again, if anyone's
he built a dynasty over 10 years, like 3 different sides.
Shit. I think Clough built a couple of good sides on fucking nout. And the fact that they've got more European Cup wins than league wins is bananas.
I know,
but
mad.
The ability to maintain your level of being towards the top and stripping it.
I know what you're getting at with this
mental.
Liverpool thing. Because
Close to the mic.
I know where you're coming from with this Liverpool thing, because like 1981, Aston Villa won the league title. Following season, won the European Cup, and then after that, we didn't hear from them. 5 years later, they were relegated from the first division into the second division. Then they come back about 3 seasons later. So I know where you're coming from on that. So it's doable.
It's happened so many teams.
Look at what Fergie did as well when he rebuilt these. Look at his football, how it was in 1993, so how it was in 2013 when he won his last. From his first to his last title, it's completely different. It's a different game, tactics, players.
So there's 2 constants in that, and that's it. Him and Giggs.
Yeah, that's a great point.
92, 93 was a change from the old first division to the Premier League.
It's massive, and he was able to do that. And and in between those 2 title wins came in 11 others. So you're right, and there's a lot of scouts.
Even the injuries that we had, the likes of Roy Keane,
98.
Yeah, 98.
Vidic in 2012.
We lost Cantona in 95. We lost Keane in 98. Otherwise, that could have conceivably been like 7 on the bounce.
Yeah, exactly. You're right, and it's like
finest of margins.
Whenever we didn't win the title under Fergie, other than like a couple of seasons, it usually was like goal difference or last day of the season, and it's so.
It was the end of the world, wasn't it?
95 still gets to me.
Rotten summer when you lose.
Ludek McCloskey.
Rotten summer.
I'll never forget that, man.
So many shots, like the fucking Alamo.
West Ham.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But we did what we do best. We came bounced back. So. Yeah, you're right. All this has reminded me of is how great Alex Ferguson was and how much I'm missing.
He was unbelievable. And like I said, I just had a quick re-listen to his autobiography.
Which
and Leading.
Right.
And it's a fucking great lesson on a lot of fronts. there's some bits on the Glazers where you go, I don't feel like I'm being told the full truth here. Undoubtedly. When he starts talking about, they always give him everything you wanted, you're like, there's no way you wanted a fucking negative net spend.
There's no way after...
The manager that broke record after record for transfers... No, I don't think so.
No.
And there's another point I disagreed with him on as well, which he said when he gets told he left an aging team for David Moyes, and he was like, the average age was like 24.6 or something like that, and you're like, okay, on paper the average age might have been that, but the starting choice was not.
Your back four were over 30.
Yeah.
And Rio and Vidic had one season if that left in him. It's no respect, love them both.
And Evra had already fucked defending off about 3 years before that.
So,
I fucking love the man. But let's be real.
And Van Persie had gone from being ultra reliable to made of glass. Yeah. So it wasn't like, I fell into that and I was like, all Moyes had to do was buy midfield and we would be like, there was bigger problems that, and he wasn't capable of sorting those problems out. But yeah, he wasn't in a great shape. He left in still better shape than most teams in the Premier League, obviously. But it wasn't great. So I get where you're coming from on both those fronts. But yeah, just
champs to chumps in under 12 months.
It was just it was dark times, but obviously. Well, hopefully I should say.
Just says always changed up with coaches every few years as well.
That's a good point.
There's a bitterness about him when he talks about that though, that I vibe. That they always thought they could go and do it themselves.
There's a bitterness with Kiddo, I think. Yeah. And rightly, Brian Kidd went to Leeds and then ended up into Blackburn, ended up at Leeds and then ended up at City, which isn't great. You know he's got connections with City. But yeah, with Kidd he seemed quite a little bit of bitterness.
Even Quiros.
Yeah, like
McLaren as well.
They all went off and including Rene. All went off and tried to do it themselves, and the only one that he sort of had a caveat for, seemingly, the others he was almost like, thought he could do it, fuck him. Rennie was the only one he sort of was like, no, he's like the best coach I've ever worked with, and he should stay being a coach.
Because you sat with Rennie, right? You spoke to him. Rennie could tell you to drive off a cliff, and you would. He's got one of the voices when he talks, he doesn't shout. He just talks. You listen
Fergie
to what
talking
he's got
about how Rennie was interviewed. And he was like, most people would come, they'd have a presentation, this, that, and the other. And he goes, we said to him, so why should we give you the job? And he was like, I'll show you. And he goes, he just walked outside. He goes, grabbed a load of boys. Like he said, there was under 11s or something training outside. And he was like, put on a technical session. And he went, that's why. And he went, yeah, welcome to United.
Right, imagine that. That's like Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock. That's just making you know what I mean?
Imagine being at one of those 11-year-old boys. Because that would have been like, what, 2005?
Well, do you remember the video when it was like, you saw the video with Danny Welbeck, with Jesse, who plays like, and he's got Rude and he's got like, but oh yeah, just an amazing coach. And I think, again, Moyes...
Being one of the boys, though, and you've got this fucking Dutch bloke comes over, starts shouting at you, and then you're like, why is Fergie standing there? Am I in trouble? Because you're not going to realise, he's not going to say, oh, I'm having an interview, lads.
Yeah.
Best of luck.
That is quality, that is brilliant. And it works, obviously, because Rene was a fantastic coach. And yeah, it's a shame that one of the many mistakes that Moyes made was getting rid of the coaching staff.
Noel says, no joke, who's Rene? Rene Mullenstein, first team coach under Fergie, left. He also says, and I strongly disagree with this as well, because we could have been fucking still sitting here with David Moyes thinking he'll turn it around. But he also says that... what was I fucking saying? I've lost my...
What, Fergie also says that Rene Mullenstein should have stayed on.
Yes, that was it. That Moyes fucked up by getting rid of the likes of Mike Phelan, Rene Mullenstein, all of them. Like he said, he should have kept all of them because they had that link to Manchester United. But I actually strongly disagree, because if he'd have came second or even won the title in his first season, we'd all sitting here now going, no, David Moyes knows how to win a title. Maybe Rene Mullenstein knew how to win a title. Maybe Mike Phelan knows how to win a title. And maybe that fucking rabbit in the headlights that we've just seen hasn't got a pot of glue. What's going on?
Yeah, I think he made it almost untenable as well, the way he went around it for certain coaches to stay on, from what I was told.
Same with some players as well.
If they'd have stayed on,
this is how you defend.
It would have been difficult for them.
This is telling Rio, this is how you defend.
Oh, didn't Rio say that was a load of bollocks?
Yeah,
recently?
the Phil Jagielka thing, I think there might be. But, I mean, Moyes got so many things wrong. And he was obviously... I was there when he got unveiled. And
I was there when he
You said a rabbit in headlights. Perfect.
I was there when he self-destructed.
Yeah, because he did this face, didn't he? And if you listen to him carefully, he never even accepted the United job. He said, Fergie come in and told me I'm the Manchester United manager. And I went, okay.
What stuck with me as well, he started naming managers and named Bill Shankly at a Manchester United press conference. Following the footsteps of other, great managers. I was like, getting held back at the back.
After
of the
losing to Man City,
throwing things at him.
What we aspire to be like Man City? Like, what the fuck are you saying, lad? That hurts.
When I spoke to Ever about it, I had a fucking great conversation with Ever, and I asked him every question you wanted to ask Suarez, Fergie, all the different fucking players and all that lot. And when I asked him about Moyes, I was like, I get some juicy shit here. What's he going to say about Moyes? And he just went, I just try to protect that guy, man. Oh, what do you mean? He goes, some of that shit he say. He goes, I tried to tell him, you don't need to say this. But he didn't dig him out. He just said, I try to protect him. Some of the stuff he was saying.
I don't think Moyes ever fully was prepared or understood how every single word he said when he came to Manchester United would be scrutinised at a level that was just not comparable.
You got the keys to the toy shop, but you don't know what to pick.
But anything he said, like Evan, you could say some of these things and no one would give a shit. Like,
well, no one even attend the press conferences sometimes.
And you say at United, what you might think is an innocuous statement, like, United needs to improve. We just need to improve on our defending, tackling, shooting, and passing. And like, at the time it's coming out of your mouth, you're just thinking, this is a.
We just start reeling off things that you know we need to work on. We've got to work on that. Set pieces aren't good.
And then it's all over the papers, and you actually read it and go, oh my god, it's not great. And I don't think he was ready for it. He wasn't ready for it with the press. He wasn't ready for it with some of the players. He wasn't ready for it tactically. And I think a lot of what Fergie was great at, and he covers it in that book you're quoting, is he could handle any players. He could. And Moyes came into a team that had won everything, tried the wrong way to go about it, to assert his authority in a way that...
Yeah, listen, Ronald Koeman.
I think at the end, on that Sunday night, from what I've heard, he even phoned up to Alex Ferguson, and Alex Ferguson won't picking up.
After the Everton game.
After the Everton... And was there an Everton fan dressed as the Grim Reaper?
No.
Yeah,
so,
mate, him and Steve Brown looking at the set piece.
Monday morning...
Laminated things.
Monday morning was like Christmas Day for me.
I've got one of them.
Yeah, but, I probably prefer you not dug out than them two clowns. Jesus.
Right, cheers for tuning in. Cheers for Andy for coming and getting in the mixer. Cheers to Jay. Apparently, the formerly great local newspaper, now disreputable online blogger, saying it's not as close as everyone's made out. Well, that just fucking shows what they know.
Are they trying to get another click out of this somehow?
Yeah, dicks.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
We've got Paddock FC highlights coming out. What time, Will? At 5:30. Well, it can't be 6 because it's not going out at 6. Right, hopefully at 5:30 on the Paddock FC channel. Go check it out. Another set of highlights from the game this weekend where, another set of team tried to fucking murder Ronaldo, which is becoming a bit of a theme, and it's fucking boring. But yeah, it was a good little game against a team that's in our league. These two are on commentary, so check it out. And go check it out as well. We put out... meet the team yesterday with a young lad called Nosa, who's not going to be staying with us for very long because he does have a deal at a club a lot higher than us, but I don't think that's official just yet. But cheers for tuning in. As always, make sure to subscribe. We're back again with, I think it's Ronaldo tomorrow, is it?
Yes, Ronaldo's on the news. We've got all sorts coming up. We're just going to finalise again. You know me with the Tier 1 podcast. I like to wait until it's sorted, but we've got a great guest coming up. But when that, just trust me on that one. When that's all finalised, we'll get that out as well. So we'll be finding out all the latest on not just obviously the Van der Beek story. Now we know where that's at, but other targets we've been linked with as well.
Awesome. Right, we'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra.